We are a drag Strip Riot from right here in Seattle, fucking Washington. We're the hardest sleeping band in Seattle. It's kind of revisiting the blues and all the roots that made up rock and roll to start with, and then modernizing it and making it angry. Bring the rebellion back to rock and roll a little bit.
I'm James Beam, I play drums.
I'm Duck, lead vocals, lead guitar.
Neil Scurvy, all around rock and roll.
How long have you guys been together?
Been together since 2001. Put out the first album in 2003. We got a new one coming out sometime this year.
I'm the new guy. I started 3 years ago. Maybe, whatever.
I'm the oldie, the old one.
Four and a half years, something like that.
Have you guys changed your sound at all over this last?
Yeah, when it came out, it was a lot more rootsy. We're still trying to kind of find our sound. I think as I got more pissed off, I started writing more angry music, and it just kind of fell out of that. It kind of returned to the original idea we had of starting with really aggressive rock and roll and bringing some of the rootsy elements into it. So it's like Social Distortion meets Bo Diddley, meets George Thorogood.
Big transition when I came to the band too. We did the one from upright bass to electric bass, so bring my rock and roll punk rock bass in there and changed our sound quite a bit. But
It is punk, and I got punk background and rock and roll background.
Solid it up a bit.
Got a lot of blues.
A lot of blues, a lot of rockabilly in my guitar background, but I played in like underground hardcore punk bands back in the 90s. So.
Collective attitude.
What were some of the other bands?
I was in a band called Orange 42. We did kind of the underground Seattle scene back in the 90s, like Legging and Pub and Guerrilla Gardens and all that stuff. Started out kind of back when grunge was riding high, but underground punk was real heavy, like Defiance from Portland and Amira Fucked and other bands like that. Rubber and a lot of bands were playing anywhere we could, like the Storeroom, little tiny joints like that.
I'm from Portland, so I've been in a dozen bands you've never heard of, and finally found a good one.
Do you guys tour at all?
We've done a lot of spotty out-of-town shows here and there. We kind of pick and choose where we go. Until we put out this new album, we're waiting to get behind that and then go on a full-fledged tour. But
we've been as far down as like Las Vegas. It's always a party when we have a show. Like all of our friends are drinkers.
Everybody's welcome. Everybody has a good time. It's versatile enough that you can draw any crowd and rock their socks off.
We inspire everyone to raise their glass and drop their pants.
Everybody knows they're going to have a good time. They're going to show up and see all the people they always see at our shows.
Drag Strip Riot will get you laid.
It's our personal guarantee. If you can't get laid by the end of our show, we'll personally sleep with you.
That's a bold statement.
We'll stand behind it fully.
You guys all get along pretty well? You guys seem like you get along pretty well.
No, not at all.
It's all for show. You know?
It's all for show.
It's all about getting paid.
How did you guys meet? How did this come together?
I used to come to their shows all the fucking time. I was a douchebag in the front row, screaming along, singing every word, being like, "You're the most kick-ass band in Seattle." And eventually, they just pulled me on stage to make the show better. You know?
I was in between projects. I've been playing pretty much from the post-grunge time, you know, like so pretty much I played like the Color Box downtown and all the old clubs that aren't even there, you know, so I've been in and out of a lot of different bands, but I was in between projects, and he calls me up and starts interviewing me, and then I started interviewing him. At that point it was kind of like, okay, so here I am.
I think the question was, do you put out?
Yeah, that was the important part.
What's your guys' favorite show that you played?
Yeah, we played a lot of great fucking shows. Holy crap.
Vegas was pretty fun.
Vegas
Going
was
down and doing
pretty
a big
monumental.
hot rod festival in Vegas.
Las Vegas
Acres
Motor
of hot
Speedway.
rods and pinup girls. Pretty hot, yeah.
The pinup.
Hot pinup girls. It's been some pretty debaucherous shows.
Yeah.
It's a tough question. I mean, we opened up for a handful of really good national acts, you know, and played in front of just packed clubs. We had a lot of sold-out shows here and there.
A good collection of my favorite bands in the last 3 years we played with. So they're all pretty monumental.
The new album really represents the power we've got to it with this trio. Before it was a four-piece, and now we've kind of stripped it down and it's gotten a lot more aggressive. And people have seen that live, so it's about time we get an album out there that really represents our live sound. And I think this one will do it.
One more question. What's it like to play a film festival? Is that something unique to you guys to find a different audience? Or?
It's totally unique and it's inspiring to play something completely different. You know, we're coming in here blind.
But we wanted to get in front of an entirely different audience. You know, a lot of the rock and roll fans in Seattle have seen us. We've played out there a lot, and we've gotten our name out there real well. But film folks are an entirely different sect. They kind of run in their own circle, and so, you know, slap some hands, slap some babies, grab some asses, and maybe get a song or two on a soundtrack.